All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be looking at the live order flow. At Bookmap, we'll be looking at the live order flow within Bookmap to give us insights to where price might go next. Very simply put, the markets are made up of orders. This is how the participants behave or interact in the markets. It's only through orders. So we want to understand their behavior in the orders, the order flow, the transactions, and the price action and the price structure. It's these three elements that give us the context that we're looking for to understand where price might go next. So that's the goal in our webinar. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We do have one news item later today. We have an onboarding webinar. We do this every Tuesday. It's for anyone mostly new to Bookmap. Have any questions and just to understand what's required here, go through the process. We'll basically guide you through logging into bookmap.com, downloading the product, installing it, getting it up and running, and connecting it to data, and then assemble and then answer any questions that you have and go through resources for further study or explanation. All right, so if you're interested in that, I have the link here for you. I'll put into the chat. It is at 2 p.m. East Coast time, and all are welcome. So Dan already beat me to it. Thank you, Dan. So excellent. All right, guys, let's jump in. Let's take a look at the markets here. All right, so I've been demoing this version of Bookmap for a while now. We're still working on it. This is a much higher time frame version of Bookmap. This is amazing to me that we're able to show, like, I don't know how many millions of data points there are here. It's getting probably up to the billions. Like, I think this was this CPI? This might have been CPI data, or I don't know. That might have been over here from a few weeks ago. This maybe was FOMC. I think this was FOMC. Yeah, December 18th. That was FOMC. CPI is over here someplace on February 2nd. Is that right? Anyway, you guys get the idea. You can see these little spaces in between here. Dark spaces, these are weekends here. So everything in between is 1 week. So we're getting a very big overview of what's going on in the order flow. And let's take a look at this picture here, and we'll look at a candlestick chart as well and relate it. But as you guys can see, like we've noticed this for quite a while. We come up toward highs, make all-time highs, and there's just not a lot of buying interest. We sell off, and then we do find buyers at lower levels who trade it back up near or breaking all-time highs again. But there's no interest in buying and taking it further, and we drop back down, and people are just buying the dips. Okay, this one seems different. Now we're not out of the woods yet, but we've had several big down days in a row here, and we might start to see a shift in the volume, and the volume within the structure is what we're really interested in. I don't see the shift quite yet, so we don't know. I'm looking for a test back down to probably this level here, just below 59.50, somewhere in the 40s, and we're like 20 points away, or a little over 20 points away right now. And then we'll see if we find some bottom feeders down here willing to purchase and try to thinking it's a deal and getting price back up into the range up in here. Okay, so for several weeks, and that's a very likely scenario. Testing this is also a very likely scenario, and we'll see. Likely today. It's not going to go there easily. We'll see a lot of back and forth, I'm sure. But we'll zoom in now and get kind of a better feel of what's going on. All right. So anyway, that's kind of what I see in the bigger picture. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, Stephen. Welcome back. Yeah, just no big deal. Wasn't feeling well yesterday. Had some stomach issues, but all good. Yeah, let's jump in here. Oh, Stephen, you made a real nice piece of content and you posted it yesterday here. So I would like to go over this. We'll go over it also maybe in the Bookmap Academy meeting on Thursday because there's a lot of great things in here. And last time we met with you and we talked about simplifying things, and it does look very complex here, but I think you kind of are simplifying things, and there's a very nice pattern in here, and order flow shift and change that you recognize, and it's up in here. You recognize the massive absorption in here, and you can see absorption on the way down, right? In here, in here, in here, here, and you're starting to look for those clusters of buyers as well. Okay, you can see the trend line. You have a trend line here that broke, and then now you're starting to look for buyers or equal or higher highs in here or higher lows. You get all of that, and you enter long, and you take some off up here, which is excellent. Just some, it looks like. I'm not sure if I believe, yeah, you're still in it. Yeah, and your other limit is up here. Beautiful. Really well done. This is a great pattern, and this is that shift and flow and change. You can see it in the volume delta bars here, and you'll be able to see it in the dots as well. Sellers into high liquidity, absorption, buyers starting to come in. See it in here. See it in here. You saw an opportunity. You managed it well. You got out. You had a good one. This is great stuff. All right. So. And if anyone's interested in this kind of stuff, let me just mention to come to the Bookmap Academy at 4 p.m. East Coast time on Thursday. It's open to all, and this is exactly what we do. We give feedback on your journaling of your trading activity, just like that. All right. So anyway, yeah, if you guys are looking for that, we can give you that feedback and coaching and mentoring. We've got some great coaches, and we've got a really nice community. It's all over in our Discord channel, so you have to come over there for it. All right, let's zoom in here. Let's take a look here. Now this is the ES chart here that I'm looking at, and I'm going to jump over to our TraderMap Pro chart though, because you can see this bot activity in here has been in for now several months, and really kind of messes up the liquidity heat map in here, so we can filter it out. So I'll jump over to the ES chart here that says TraderMap Pro, as you can see up here. Okay, click on that. Oops, I didn't want to pop it out. Pop it back in. Okay. All right, so what's going on? All right, well, here we go, Stephen. Clusters of buyers starting to come in. Okay, here, let me get my pen tool out. And this also matches time of day. So sorry guys. Okay, should do the trick. Hold on, you quit this and come back again. Okay, so we're looking for this shift in this change. All right, so liquidity all the way down, massive liquidity, still liquidity down here. Okay, clusters of buying starting to come in here. Still, sellers are dominating. Okay, there's no question about that. But we're starting to see some buying coming in. We can see it in the dots, and we can see it in the bars. Okay, so sellers still dominating, but we're starting to see kind of, it equaling out. Here's a nice little volume dot and bar here. And then look what just popped into the book as well up here. Now, the question is, do we see aggressors, market buy orders here that are interested in taking price higher? Okay, so we're going to look for that. We're going to look for the shift in the order flow and change here. Okay, so we don't see it yet. Okay, so we're still sell side. All right, so we just traded into high liquidity in here. Okay, now how much of this was absorbed in here? I went through it a little bit. Now here we go. Here come some buyers. Are they willing to now start to charge back up into some of these areas in here? Okay, so let's take a closer look. And in fact, this is a potential trade opportunity, and we will take positions in here to demo this. It's not a trade recommendation whatsoever. This is a demo account, but we want to show others that maybe new are in here, points of entry and trade management. Okay, so don't see anything yet, but we're looking for that shift. And you can see we're getting a lack of buyers or sellers down in here, and now they're starting to pick up. Okay, and we have our 59.50 down here as well. Okay, so yeah, so no opportunity yet. Sellers breaking to newer lows here. All right, we're just keeping an eye on this here because it's starting to kind of fit the pattern. Okay, and you can see it failed, but we'll see if we trade back down into 59.50. Maybe we hit our 42 level that we talked about, and then we see the buyers start to come back in. All right. Okay, so I think we got all the questions answered over there. Yeah, good morning, Trading is Life. Stephen, Shark, Alois. Yeah, thanks for the comments yesterday. Really appreciate that. We just got a great group. We just have a great community. All right, let's see here. Okay, we're all caught up, I think, on our questions. All right, so even in this kind of, we're still kind of looking for this to go lower here, but because the seller, we were looking for the potential in here for it to go higher. Sellers came in, and we're still seeing sellers kind of dominate in here. Okay, we don't see that shift and change yet. Okay, so this is a pullback to where it dropped from here. And you can see that we came back down right into where these buyers came in, and now we're starting to see some support in here. Okay, so we're going to watch this one closely. Again, this happens a lot in the price action. We know where the liquidity is. It's down here, no question about it. Okay, at this time of day, though, I mean, I don't know how many times you guys have seen it. But this happens a lot, is very frequent. We come pretty close to the figures, the big figures in here. There's a lot of profit taking beforehand. We already know that there's been a lot of absorption or a lot of buying with the passive orders in the order book in these areas. So now we're just waiting and watching for the aggressors. Now, a lot of times the scenario is this. We do see the buyers come in, they are supporting it, the aggressors come in, and we do get this bounce before hitting the figure. We come back up and test into some of these areas in here. We break some of the structure. Okay, so we can put some structure on this now. We break some of the structure. We come up above it in here, and then we do some little double top or some little pattern up in here before coming back down and trading into 59.50 or below, with our target being at the candlestick chart, which we haven't covered yet, but here it is here. So yeah, we have a swing here at 46, and then the bigger swing here is around 35 or so. Okay, and we can see this. I mean, this is big, sell momentum here, as you guys know. This is the daily chart over here, hourly chart in the middle, and the 15-minute here on the right. We can also start to look at other elements in here for this pullback that we're looking for. And it seems kind of crazy. We're looking for a pullback with all of this selling, and we already outlined we're the sell side basically until we want to get down into these levels here and see. But there's another thing, like there's the time of day that we mentioned, and so we are trading 50. There we go. Okay. There's the time of day, and as we mentioned, we get kind of close to 50, the figure, and then we see this kind of reversal take place. So we know that hasn't happened. We traded into 50 here, okay? And we see the transactions. All right, so let's see if there's still more selling pressure. We could probably scalp, a move from here on up to maybe, back into the range in here. We'll keep an eye out here. Yeah, that's probably a scalp opportunity here. Let's see. Not looking for much out of it, probably back to about 55 or so. Okay, your stop would be down below the low here. Now we just have a lot of liquidity that traded, and then we also have the figure here. Okay, but I don't like it at the moment here. It's we're getting lower here, and these guys, maybe covering here. We get the squeeze here, and we see the squeeze here. So here's 420 stops just triggered here. 500, over 500. Okay. So we have our 40 level. Liquidity is our next level down here at 40, bigger level. Okay, 36, 35. I don't see anything really down there, which is kind of interesting. Thank you, Stephen. Smash the like button. I always forget, and not too good with all of that kind of stuff. Instead, I just kind of really get down into the details with the what's happening in the price action and the order flow. All right. Well, very quickly getting down to 40. Okay, I'm a little surprised. Like I said, it's usually just around this time of day and that 50 level that we get that pullback, and then we really go lower. Okay, so there we go into 40, and we're still going lower. Traded into it and through it. Okay, now here comes some buying. That was a quick 10 points too. All right, let's take a look at this, and we're going to look for something. If we're looking for those buyers, we're looking for a big distinction in here, and it's got to be pretty strong buying, and this is pretty good. It's starting to, you can see it in the bars and the dots. The one of the things that well, I recall vividly from the financial crisis, and this is not a financial crisis or anything, but you would see these big moves like this to the downside. Everyone knows that the direction is to the downside, but then you'll see this kind of revert, you see some very, very strong moves back to the upside. Okay, so and they just come out of the blue. There's not much of a pattern in here. I mean, I guess you can see it here. In fact, we can even yeah, it's worth taking up in just to demo the point of like is it worth clicking on up here. Yeah, probably was, but and we're not looking for much back to, you know, this trend line or the 50 and this sell dot here. This is why I would have looked to getting involved in here, and I just kind of missed it there, balked for a second. Is these moves, like I was just explaining, they happen pretty quickly, and you're not looking, you know, you're looking for, you know, taking it to a specific area and getting out, because you can get really hurt on these as well. But they usually work quickly and they keep going, and the moves are you know, at a steep angle as well. So for example, let's go. This is not a bad pattern in here, actually. As you guys can see the move down, we talked about the liquidity getting filled on the way down, on the way down, on the way down. And then right in here, this is kind of similar, Stephen, to what you were looking at. It's a little different. Because we don't really see the shift and change in here. We see it more here, right? Which happens a little later. But it's this area here that I want to cover. Okay, this is classic. Oh yeah, Stephen, don't even tell me. I made the same mistake on Friday that I made on last Friday that I made on like Tuesday from the week before, and I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, but this is good stuff here, okay? Because this is a pull away from the low after trading into this area here, and you can see it in the structure as well. It's actually this structure here. It broke down. Okay, we see the big stop run into high liquidity as well, and then this little accumulation structure in here. Okay, this is what to note. And in fact, we even had a couple opportunities for a couple pullbacks in here, to be honest. So it's this accumulation that we want to keep note. We don't quite know yet. It looks like buyers have control here. This is kind of a little scary here. There's some exhaustion followed by selling here. So, you know, maybe it's over and maybe the squeeze is going to happen to the downside here. Okay, but this is a good, very solid pattern to take a look at. Okay, is that pull away, this sideways accumulation, and then the buyers come back in. Okay, and that's when we start to target structure again up in here where it dropped from, as well as our trend line, or, you know, the figure. We got a lot of reasons, you know, the figure and the big move in transaction into that high liquidity at the figure. Okay, so it makes good sense that this would be your target somewhere up in here. Okay, there's something more to take a look at structurally as well. Okay, and that would be measured moves. We can start to look at, you know, the size of these moves, the angle. In size, I mean, like, you know, actually measure them with a line, and kind of take that line away and look at other areas in here. Okay, so now this is a pretty, it's almost equal here. You know, makes good sense. So, you know, we see these big moves and then chop, big moves and then chop. All right, so anyway, there's a few ideas in there, and this is something to that you can piece together for your trading plan. Right, so this is what we go over in the Bookmap Academy on Thursdays. So I mean, one of the things that in the All Markets webinar here is we cover, you know, all markets, whatever people want to look at, and we'll cover many different ways to trade, because everyone trades differently. It's not just one way. All right, it's there's many different things to take a look at, and I just covered this setup and this trade idea in order flow, and then many different ways to look at it. as well. You can also look at it in terms of like maybe profile, and you know, you start to see we wouldn't see it. Yeah, we wouldn't. You could look for maybe a move back up into here. Low volume node makes sense in a trending day, and then a pull back in there, and then maybe we just chop around in this area in here for a while, you know, and build out another huge profile like up in here before it started moving after 10-14 or so. Okay, any questions on that? Accumulation, and this, so this is like a pure Wyckoff in here as well. So you know, we're looking for that move down, and this is a small area of accumulation. Now we're kind of seeing the opposite here. It looks to me we're getting some distribution in here, and this is what I mean to say. Okay, so see this area in here, it's mostly selling. Okay, so they're breaking the bottom edge and trading into our 37 level now. Okay, so now this is getting interesting. Okay, so here's our 36 and just about to test it here and break it, I would imagine. All right, so there we go. We traded into 34. Let's see if we can catch one of those here. Here's another. It's a little too quick. See the same pattern right here? Okay, maybe we can zoom out. This was a small little area in here, traded into high liquidity. Here's our little accumulation as it pulls away from that, and here's the move up. Okay, now you would be out of it really quickly. This was a very, very quick move here. All right, let's take a look at this little area here. This little triangle in here, or wedge to the downside, we're going to look at another one now. It's just starting to form here. Okay, and yeah, I'd still say there's more sellers in here, so still looking for this to press lower here. Okay, this was a very small little move, a little different than, I mean, exactly the same pattern as this one over here. Just happened really quickly. Okay, so traded into liquidity down here at 34. Let's take a look again here. Let's see if we can catch it here. Bit of accumulation. All right, we're just going to see if we can catch this here. And then maybe we can even get up here to our 42 liquidity up here. And now the smartest thing would be to take profit up here. But you know, we've seen this now a few times. And I'm wondering if this one's going to be a bit different. We're going to get our change in here and buyers start to take control. In fact, if so, then we can even look for a bigger move and maybe even go up to 50 here. Okay, so now we're down on it. We got in up here, but now we're going to look at this little wedge in here and look at the transactions in this wedge here. We're going to see if it's different than these other areas, and it does look different. Okay, in fact, I'm not seeing those sellers like before. Okay, so I'm looking for this to break here. Let's see if we can break it on some size, volume, and then we can look for maybe a really nice move here up to, well, we have a swing up here at 46.5 or so, but we also have our 50 level up here. Okay, so now we're kind of bashing around the trend line as well as the top edge here. Okay, so this, see how this one looks different now? Now we don't know. Sellers might come in and just, you know, we're down into the 20s here. But so far this looks different. And we're going to keep an eye on this here. So here come the buyers. Okay, and I'm looking for them now to break this swing here and go higher. Okay, on size. On size. Okay, so we got our break. Let's also jump back at our higher time frame here. Now, this is what we're looking for, that swing down here. So we got that. Now we want to see if we get continuation or not. Okay, here's another little pull away here, and let's see, what does this little area look like in here? We see accumulation, looks like it so far. Let's see if we get a little bit more here. Up here. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to add into this position. All right, guys, this is not a trade recommendation. We're demoing a process in here, and then also showing how to manage it. Okay, I should put some stops in here. So yeah, we'll put our stops down below here, and we're looking for taking some off. Probably this isn't probably not a bad area right up here at 43. You know, I want to see some speed come in now, and maybe we can up. Well, let's target this liquidity up here around 45. Okay, so now let's see if we can get a little bit more buying in here. Any questions on the trade management and the process? I think we went through. We had some really nice examples here, so that was good. Okay, so here's a pullback, a move right back, and looks like it's going to break it. Okay, so target 1 has been reached. We're going to hold off, and we're going to hold for our 50 level up here for target 2. Abby, you want to go through the strength indicator? Sure. Well, it's good and bad. One good thing about, you know, days when there's more volatility in here is, I mean, this is trading more like the Nasdaq right now. But on these kinds of days, like, you know, we usually, you know, you get your moves pretty quickly, which is great for the demo. Yeah, see the distinction in here, guys. In fact, we, you know, maybe even want to move our target up to here, 60. I'm going to go with the high liquidity in the swing here. But you know, this is if you guys are still in it and you want to stretch it, then move your target up to about here, right? And would be pretty good area here. But I'm looking for the swing and look for the next opportunity. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying, like, what's nice also about these kinds of days in here. I mean, this is like very quickly, like, we're not there yet, but 10-point move, and it, even though it feels much more like a scalp. So we're starting to see the volume in here on the way up, and see how it's waning up here. Now we're getting a retest back up in here, but we're starting to see some selling come in too. Okay, so now we're getting a retest up in here, and buyers, there we go. So now 50 has traded. Okay, we're out. And we might get a really easy, nice move to 60 or even higher here at this point. This is where that, after waiting and waiting and waiting, a lot of times this is where you get your acceleration, is up in these areas up in here. And it goes like straight up there. So, just keep an eye out and do your back testing and your studying on that. And look how many times that happens, because they can be really easy to kind of hold onto, or it's easy on your mindset, and it's just like, okay, I don't have to do anything, I just let it run, and it just picks up a lot of momentum here. All right, so let me see if there's any other questions in here. Oh, okay, I think we're good. Oh yeah, thanks, Stephen. An error there on my part. I need to cancel my stops. That's another thing. I should probably just use the bracketed orders. I kind of like, to be honest, like, learn from, it was FT71 and another trader that trained me. A lot of times, it's probably not good. I should probably just widen them out more. Is not having the stop in there, uh, or having it really widened out, and then letting it, because letting it kind of see what kind of how do I want to say this? Just kind of see the market action, without having to worry about my stop, my take profit, all that kind of stuff immediately. It's like, I want to gauge the order flow, not my emotional response to a stop. So then I like to kind of manage my stops after something like that. I get that kind of feel or gauge, and it's just like, okay, we're out, and then you know adhere to your plan. But it's probably better to, best practice, just have them widen out. Um, anyway, it's more of a kind of psychological thing on my side, in some of my background in trading, training from others. Okay, so so we made a pretty good decision here so far. You can see that the sellers brought it right back down and retested this area here. We are seeing buyers come back in again. We may get that same pattern right in here, okay, of pulling away, some back and forth and accumulation in here above this selling in here. Let's see, what does it look like? And then we can look for another opportunity in here. Okay, I don't see it. Doesn't mean that it might not happen here, but we're looking for that accumulation in here. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, I'm going to wait for another rotation now. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not as good as the other ones. It's kind of back and forth in here. Stephen, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, uh, I recall like one of the guys that trained me, um, you know, uh, years ago. Oh, yeah, this kind of, see how we weren't quite sure in here about the accumulation, and then all of a sudden it just picks up like this. And I took my glasses off and kind of rubbed my eyes, and I swear to God, that's what I did, and it's a missed opportunity, just like that. But very, very quick move. Okay, but this is a little harder to read than the other ones, I think. This is where it starts to give us a clue, but we don't quite know yet. You know, still could be heavy selling. It was nice follow through though. Trading is life. I think you know what we're covering right now in terms of this kind of um, accumulation area. You've covered it a bunch of times. We haven't quite articulated it in the same way as the pattern in here, but you know, you've seen it many times off of your like VWAP trades, which is great. You know, and you know, one of the things like, because we were talking about it last time about this little area of accumulation in here, is the back and forth. A lot of times is like, you know, we get kind of caught in the back and forth in here, and the swings, and it can be painful, you know, and uh, so let's, you know, we'll cover it a little bit more, I think, of understanding the price action in here and staying away until we do see something. Okay, because I said no, I'm not looking for it here yet. I'm still waiting for another rotation, and you know, that was different than over in here, right? I didn't need to. I you know, I see some of the selling in here. I see some exhaustion in here. I know there's buyers here. I know there's buyers in here. They come back up again. Now I'm looking, and then that's the accumulation in here that we're looking. Yeah, that pain, trading is life. This is something to really like focus on. Is that because it shakes you out, just like you're saying there. You get out early and you had the right idea, and then you get caught up in these like this back and forth for a while. Now that's going to vary on the day. You know what's driving the market, the instrument, all sorts of things. So you know, I think it's look at that accumulation. You know, put the pieces together and wait for maybe a couple of rotations, because those rotations do happen. It's not like it's you know, it's a breakout and then like, you know, it goes. Sometimes it does, but there's usually some back and forth in there. And you know, this is where it's classic Wyckoff type of stuff. That accumulation, breakout, or markup period. This is not distribution here, and this is a pullback. If you want to look at it that way. Or maybe this is a bigger range of accumulation or distribution up in here. Okay, because I don't see anything up in here. It just comes up into liquidity and then pulls back. Okay, so you know, how do we want to gauge that? Well, maybe you do see some distribution up in here. Accumulation, it looks pretty good, but then sellers come in and just hammer it here. Okay, so now we're in markdown period after this area of distribution here. Hope this is making sense, guys. I don't want to confuse you with too much. Trading is just hard enough. But there's back and forth before, and we want to look at a few different things before we even get to this pattern in here, or the back and forth. We want to understand the passive buying and selling, and the aggressive buying and selling. Okay, very simply, where's the liquidity? Well, we see it up here around 60, 59, also some here at 54. These are where the sellers are. Okay, are the buyers, the aggressive buyers here, interested in trading up to this area? It looks like it. They're starting to come in. So we can see some of that distribution, or maybe accumulation after trading into high liquidity here, right? So let's see if we get another pullback and an opportunity in here, or we're just going to miss it here. Yeah, shark, exactly. I'll wait for a couple of rotations there, and the patience, your 1 2 3 pattern, absolutely. Yeah, see how, it kind of kept us away here, but now we're looking for that distinction again in this little zone in here. If I see buying up in here, then I think it's going north. Here we go, and we're gonna miss it. No, no, we got it. All right. So and we're just right now, let's see if we can just get back up to here in the swing here. So it's a quick little scalp. This might be the one, that breaks and goes up to 60. Now, how do you manage that? Well, you can trail your stop, or move your target, or you can take some off and then have the next leg up here at your 60 level. Let's see if we get another opportunity to add in maybe here. Okay, there we go. So now we got 2 on, and our stops are nicely kind of handled here. Okay, some exhaustion before that, right before it. So let's see if we can still get these buyers in here. So it's this turning into something a little different here. Okay, all right, so target 1 is hit. We see a little distinction in here. I'm going to move my stop up, okay, because this is going back and forth in here. So there could be some heavy selling comes in, and this high liquidity came in down here around 42, near our level that we were looking at. Okay, other than that though, we're kind of holding and waiting for our 60 level here. It's not looking too good. There's a lot of kind of back and forth in here, right? We're looking for a pure directional move in here on the markup period. There we go. Now we're looking for it again, and let's see if we can get back up in here. Okay, up to the swing, and we want to see some follow through. Okay, high liquidity just filled. Still a lot of buying though. So, our buyers are charging up toward next level of sellers up here at 60. Okay, we can move our stop up to break even at this point. Maybe even more so. All right, and we are out target 2. Okay, at just in front of the high liquidity here. Yeah, Shark, that might be really, really helpful. I'm hoping, another one is to watch Laura. uh, and what I to wait for a couple of rotations and see what's in that rotation. And but there's things to look at beforehand though, and those elements have to be there in the trade. We have to see that passive buying first, and then we want to pull away from the area and then look for that. I mean, you can see it does it all the time. We've already seen many examples and some pretty good ones. I mean, here's a small one in here as well. Okay, so passive buyers getting filled. This back and forth in here, we don't know about this one here. We're not looking for this one. We're looking for the pull away and then the accumulation. Okay, so what does this have in it is the question. You might even use your cumulative volume delta, to look at some of these areas in here. You could look at the distribution and delta. There's a lot of things here. Let's go through it. We can zoom into this area right here, and we can look at the imbalance indicator. Isn't this? Oh, because I'm in drawing mode. Okay, let's try that again. All right. Okay, so now we've got this area within our chart range here. And let's take a look. So here's our cumulative volume delta. And now, obviously, this is starting to see the. Got to take that out of the picture a little bit. So is there more buying or selling in this little area in here? And there's a little bit more buying, not much, but a bit more. And what about our imbalance indicator up here? That's another one to take a look at. We can also look at the liquidity tracker in this area in here. How is that looking? How is the order book looking in terms of skew? Another one to take a look at is your column data in here. So this one's pretty good. You can see that this is becoming kind of a weak top in here with your P-shaped profile. Okay, so you look for those things in here in these rotations to give you that insight to when it might break, and that will keep you out of the trade until the right moment. Okay, so it should help with the timing. Is what we're trying to do, and avoid the pain after some of these moves. I would recommend just going back and studying some of the things and look for these patterns in here, and putting this together in your checklist, one thing after another, and that's where you're going to build out your plan, and that'll help. And Shark, you've already built it out heavily, so you got your 1 2 3 pattern. You just, a lot of times I see you get in early, and we all do. Me too, all the time. But maybe this will help. And these tools to help us kind of stay away from that. Also, following someone like Laura and getting some insight from her. She's a very, very patient trader, and patience is a tough thing in trading. All right, let's see here. Any other questions? DK, Leroy, Abby. Oh, I'm sorry, Abby. Yeah, let's take a look at that strength indicator. Let me add that onto the chart here. Is it? Right here, strength level add-on. Okay. Okay, there's two different kinds in here. We covered this last week, underflow and resistance. I think underflow is the default. Yeah, Leroy, following the trend is amazing using order flow. It makes the difference, the distinction. It's understanding the behavior of how people are interacting in the market. We're trying to put the pieces together. All right. So anyway, let me take the stops and icebergs off for just a moment here on chart. And then we can look at the strength indicator here. Okay, so the way that this works here, now I've got a filter on it as well, is you see the little rook icon in here, and then red and green. So this was actually our old iceberg detector. Before, this was way before MBO data. In fact, there was only 10 levels in the S&P. Which is to show like the MBO data is amazing, and full depth of market is just amazing. A huge benefit for us. Anyway, the way that we determined what might be a possible iceberg order in the strength indicator in here is by understanding maybe larger players at certain levels in here. These would be buyers in here. And the way that works with the underflow is if something more traded than what was in the order book, it will determine it here. So like 124 traded more than what was in the order book at this point. Okay, so that's likely then an iceberg order. Okay, that's the way to look at it. And you can see like yeah, likely an iceberg in here. And you can see how this indicator, oh, I have it filtered, so anyway, you can see it break down as well. And then it gives an aggregate here, right? So now this iceberg, look, icebergs are a little more challenging than stops in the sense that we don't know what the larger players is doing. Now, is it accumulation for entry, or are they getting out of position, or what time frame they are on? All of these things, they're just playing a little different game than us, but still we have the insight to it. Okay, so on the sell side, same thing in here, 124, 128, traded more than what was in the order book. Okay, and the other one, I'll go here, resistance, is by a delay in time. And if something trades very, very quickly right after a transaction, then it is likely an iceberg that is co-located at the exchange. And so that's the way we determine that one. Right. So iceberg or strength indicator, as well as the MBO bundle and stops and icebergs indicators, these are indicators. Okay, well, I hate to even call it the MBO bundle indicators. It's just data. It's not some sort of mathematical process that takes the data and then spits out a number. It's just showing the raw data. So I would say it's just really a market condition. It's showing that the order types that are transacting within the order flow. That's the distinction, I would say. I kind of cringe to call it an indicator. My point is, though, that it is a confluence. So keep that in mind. It's not a signal. We want to look at all the other things that we looked at before, and then start to understand these secondary to the other things we were looking at. So for example, this area back and forth up in here, okay, we'd be looking at high liquidity trading on the way up, right? And then we're looking at the back and forth in here. Sellers pocket of selling comes in, buyers come in, exhaustion. Okay, even more liquidity at a lower level in here, exhaustion, sellers, exhaustion, looking for sellers to take it down. Okay, now in terms of the accumulate or the strength indicator, yeah, we got some here, here, and here, but we also have some of the buying back and forth in here as well. Okay, so anyway, hope that answers your question. Let's get to some other ones. I think CVD is a powerful indicator. Yeah, CVD is good. It's just I love it, Stephen. Just like you're saying in here, use it in your reviews, and it's something to add into as a confluence. Yeah, thank you, Stephen. DK, I echo that, and his patience. Stephen's got that super skill as well, of patience. Very, very patient trader. DK, about how do you feel terrible about taking early profit and leaving money on the table? Um, you, I feel that you'll have to deal with that in your own way, and it's kind of not an easy question, but it's up to you. And that might vary on the day, or maybe you don't care about it varying. You're just in, you're out. This is your plan. This is what you do. Okay, that would be the easiest on your mind. And if it goes for you, yeah, so what? Like, your plan was to get out at your target. That's it. Okay, you don't know, right? Like, we don't know either. We took our profits at targets, and then yeah, we made a pretty good decision today based off of that. It could have come up to this area here, but we had our plan or our thoughts for taking our partial here at the top of the range, and then our other partial up here. Right? So the would have, could have, should have. Well, you're going to say the same thing of like, oh, I should have like taken my profit up here, when you get stopped out down here, right? And maybe even for a loss. So you turn a winner into a loser. Okay? Now, maybe that works well for you on the overall. When you've got the power of numbers behind you, and you know that like it's worth it to wait and put my stop down here, because many times it has come up to here, and I've made like 50 points out of it days like today. Okay, so you'll have to answer that question for yourself, right? I would recommend for newer traders especially, to build confidence, and until your plan is super solid, that that yeah, I'll take a loss or a break even or scratch trade, because I know that it's worth it to stay in it, because there's more on the table. I think once you can answer that question, then you can make a really good decision. Right? Else, build confidence, build confidence, build confidence in your trading. Okay? And then eke out other studies and back testing to give you insight to potentially amending or editing that plan. If you do, make sure it's a totally different setup, though. Don't mess with what's working, okay, until it's not working. All right, that's a lot of talking. All right, guys. So anyway, let's take a look here at the market. What's happening? Okay. So market structure wise, we were looking for a move back up to where it dropped from in here. We got that. This is a good area to look for. As you can see, this is when the webinar kind of started, and then we missed that move to the downside, but we got the move on the back to the upside. But this is where it dropped from, and this is where the sellers took control of it. They've been tested here, but the sellers still remain in control from this point on. Okay. Now, that said, though, let's take a look at this in here, this whole area here. And actually, let's do that same trick. Let's put this within our chart range. Okay. And now let's take a look at our cumulative volume delta. Okay, well, here we go. There's more buyers in this range than there are sellers. according to cumulative volume delta. Okay, mostly in here. You can see it started though here. Now we're going to, let's just take that data or that information. We know that there's more buyers in here than sellers. Cumulative volume delta is telling us volume imbalance doesn't really tell us much here. This is actually truly the what's within the range here. Cumulative volume delta is a little different, but this is telling us that it's equal, basically. Okay, we just see that the delta here, showing more buyers than sellers, aggressive buyers than sellers, right? So we got that going for us. Now we can look at areas. If you want to use this as a confluence, look for your divergences in here, just start to understand, and just start with the divergences and start to understand this, and then see if you want to use this within your trading, because it can keep it simple. Basically, it's also very elusive or seductive to look at indicators all the time. The data is simpler than looking at the order flow, but get good at the order flow and the context of it, and then you can add the indicators later, and you'll understand how to use those indicators, I think, better as well. All right, so what is this telling us in here? Well, do we have any divergences in here? We kind of made a lower low. We made a lower low here. No, not really. I'm not seeing too much. So anyway, all right, let's go back to current market. So we're just kind of looking at that zone in here, and studying the volume within it, right? That's why we did that. And this again, it's looking pretty good, right? Here's our kind of high liquidity, pull away buyers. Okay, so maybe we have another opportunity in here. Okay, I see more buyers than sellers in here. Okay, so here's a run rotation, coming back, more buyers. Let's see if we can get more again, and maybe we can get a move. Go. So is that enough? Let's do it. Okay, now again, not a trade recommendation, and we're just going to look for a move to the top of the range here. This is more of a scalp. Okay, and then this way, like there we go. So we may get the move here at this point, because the buying is starting to come back in. So it may come up to 59 or 65 up here, but we only had one rotation in here, so that's why I'm taking some off up here. If that makes sense, which I hope does. I don't know if it does or not, because it's really just about the buying overpowering the selling in here. But we're starting to see. Usually you get a couple rotations in here, so I will just take the scalp and then look for the next. Okay, and we may have another opportunity. Yep. All right, we're going to do something a little different in here, I think. Let's see if we can get a move up, a pull back to this volume dot here. Okay, we got it. And now let's see if we can come back up again. Okay, so we're leaning on this strength in here by the buyers. All right, and let's think about take profit. Boy, I'd kind of look for a scalp to the top of the range, to be honest. Again. All right, so yeah, it pulled back quite a bit more. So, and we're in the range, so we're not out of the woods at all. Yeah, now we're getting more selling coming in. All right, so all right, so testing these buyers again here. Let's see if we get a move back up though. Press through. Okay, see how the sellers took control in this little small move. So we need to get our buyers back up above here. And now they got to press it here. Boy, so it's a bit of a battle here. Look at that. So heavy selling and buying in here. They right around the figure. Well, that makes sense. All right, so this one didn't work out, and we gave it a shot. This one here was a little different. Now we're going to see maybe a kind of this might be your little spring here. Let's see if we might see another opportunity here. See how it pulled away and we get our buyers now. No, it's not. Okay, we're looking for that in here, but we're not getting it either. Not on this one either. What I wanted to cover was this pattern in here. It didn't play out exactly what we're looking for, but it's here. I'll draw it out here. What we were looking for was, in fact, I think I got a whiteboard. Can I use the board? Yes. Ooh. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. If you cannot not see that. All right. So let's go through it. We're looking for this. We had the move down and high liquidity down below, and then we had the move up, and then we're looking for this kind of this pullback, or back and forth in here, and then looking for a break, pullback, and continuation. Okay, so that's what I was looking for in, hold on. Okay. In this, in here. Okay. So here's our, off of this area in here, our accumulation, our break, our pullback, then our continuation. And we didn't get it. Now it's on a smaller time frame. We would love to see it on a higher time frame up here, a break up above this one here. Be fantastic. Anyway, I hope it makes sense. Leroy, you want to learn more about order flow? Yeah, well, we've got you covered over here in the Bookmap Academy, over in our Discord community. So if you're interested in taking this further, like I started off the webinar showing one of Steven's trades, and that kind of got us going into this here. So yeah, you can partake in that. That's why we have it, so that we can give feedback and learn from each other and get better. You'll learn from coaches and from journaling, but you're going to learn mostly from yourself and from the other community members. Okay, in the discussion, right? And so these webinars here are a training period to cover some of the the basis, the fundamentals, the basics, and then you take it further and start to document it. Oh, we've got all sorts of tools. I mean, here we've got the trading statistics tool. There's also replay mode. This is such a good one that a lot of people have been utilizing in the academy as well. Is using replay mode. So you can record all of this data, okay, from today, for example, and then you can go back in replay mode and play it again. Right? And then like our trading statistics or a web journal in here, I can show you that. We also have multi-account for trading your prop firms, etc. Yeah, so this is, let's see here. This is what I've got. My performance has been really, it's not an excuse. I mean, we've just been busy at Bookmap, a lot of different things going on. So it's looking pretty wonky in here. But anyway, this is from the first of the year, okay, to today. Yeah, I've had a lot of back and forth in here, and not the greatest performance. But now we can go back though in time and look at many days in here. We can go back to, I don't know when this began. In fact, this was boy, this stuff in here where you see it really ramp up in here, I have to say, like, this is because of the trading competition and the testing of the software and everything. That's what this is all about in here. It was this in here, this small grind to the upside in here with one contract, over and over and over again. I'm pretty proud of that one because this is exactly the kind of equity curve we're looking for. Whereas this is a little more kind of all over. Anyway, we've got really great tools like that that you can utilize to check out your performance and put it into Excel spreadsheets. So then here you got all your trades in here, and you can click on each one. You can even upload an image here to it as well, right into it here. Okay, you got your MFE, MAE, how much it went for us, how much it went against us, commissions, everything. Okay, some nice tools that the developers have made for us recently. All right, let me see if there's any other questions. Nope. All right, how about Discord? How are things? Yeah, totally trading his life. Every time the trade doesn't work out, it as you're saying, it comes back to, oh, I should have done that, or I should have taken profit. Oh no, I should have let it run. And I just don't think it works like that. You know, um, even if you have uh, elements in the order flow telling you to take your profit, uh, a lot of times something shifts and changes, and then again, you took profit, and yet something shifts and it continues in the way that you want. Oh, Rob, oh, sorry to hear you getting butchered today. um, Take a step back and stop. uh, maybe go to demo. Oh, just in sim. Okay, excellent, good to hear. I would say then go back, um, and replay mode. Oh, Rob, this is, I almost, I'll be honest, like I have to say, like uh, it was so great to see you doing really, really well. And then I was kind of cringing. I was like, yeah, like um, every time that you think you're doing well, it's like I'm on high alert. And yeah, it's in trading, it just seems to, in a lot of things, it seems like that, but especially in trading, you think oh, I got it. I turned the corner, and it's not. Look out. Uh, and what you can rely on though is that confidence you built in the way that you're trading. Just need to trade it again like that. Okay, and then if it's not working, then it's not you, it's the setup, and that's objective. That's being objective about it. Okay, so that's why I showed like Carmine Rosado's a Bookmap partner, um, shared with you one of the videos that he created. I mean, the guy is a exceptional trader, and he said, I have to be honest, January's been an atrocious month. He's really struggled. He was down 60K, and he had to go back and revisit his trading, and he noticed that he's supply and demand trader at the edges, and he noticed he was always kind of shorting on strength, uh, and getting stopped out instead of it going back into the range, something like that. And he went back and said, okay, I studied it. Now I'm just going to go. I will take those trades as long as they're going with the trend. And he turned it into a 75K winner for the month. Okay, so and yeah, amazing. So take a step back, look at it, and I hope that helps. All right. All right, guys. Well, we're just about finished here with the webinar. Let's take a quick look at the bigger picture, what's going on. So yeah, let's look at this range in here, guys. Let's use the same ideas that we just covered in here. And what's going on now? Okay, now we know cumulative volume delta, and we can see it in the bars in here, in the dots, that there's a bit more buying than selling. Okay, this is some divergence here, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We want to know what's happening in this wedge in here, and this is looking like a big wedge, and it's looking like sellers want to take it down now. Okay, down to 25, 20, 15. And now we have to be careful in here, and watch this in here, because look at the absorption, or look at the buying in these areas in here on the bid. Okay, sellers taking them on, but they're trading right into limit orders at these levels. Okay, so we don't know yet. We're not there yet, but This is where buyers took control over here. Let me mark this up. Buyers started to take control in here, okay, and in here, and then here, sellers come back in. Sellers coming back in. Okay, so and then what we have is this in this whole kind of range in here. That's horrible. We're starting to see the selling coming in, and we're starting to see some of that exhaustion, but we're seeing more sellers in here. Okay, so looks to me like it wants to go lower. Okay, now a little higher time frame is going to be a bit trickier. There's going to be a lot more back and forth in here. You've got time of day. It's the European close coming up, etc. Now, it's tricky. We're also at our higher time frame level that we talk about in the beginning of the webinar. Okay, but just going off of what we see in the pattern in here, we're starting to see more selling. Okay, I would look for this though. Same thing we looked at earlier. Here's some absorption. What if they pull away and start to accumulate in here? Okay, so then we can look for a move back up into some of these areas. Okay, that would be on a much smaller time frame though. All right, guys. Well, yeah, let's call it a day. And as Steven says, smash the like button there. Would really appreciate that. Better yet, just come over to our Discord room and communicate directly with some of the guys over here. Let's see, Chetan, are you able to see buyers and sellers based on the orders in advance? Well, yeah, in the order book, absolutely. This is the most forward-looking thing you can have, is the order book. But the only buyers and sellers we see in the order book are limit buy and sell orders. Okay, these are sellers up in here. These are buyers down in here. Right? So here we can see there's high liquidity in the book right here. 35, also 33, 32, 110 contracts they just traded. 120 down here, 104 here. Okay, and our pattern is starting to play out to the downside, and there goes the move, right? So anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up, and we will see you on maybe this afternoon at 2 p.m. If not, for the onboarding webinar. If not, then we'll see you on Friday. Okay, yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, have a good day. Take care.